There are just 4 more paragraphs from Bernie's speech when he was introducing and endorsing Secretary Clinton, Hillary Clinton this morning, that I think are just, so good that I want to share them with you if you didn't have an opportunity to hear them. And so we'll just pop through these 4 clips fairly quickly and then pick up your phone calls. This is Bernie talking about climate change.
This election is about climate change, the greatest environmental crisis facing our planet, and the need to leave this world in a way that is healthy and habitable for our children and future generations. Hillary Clinton is listening to the scientists who tell us that if we do not act boldly in the very near future, there will be more drought, more floods, more acidification of the oceans, more rising sea levels. She understands that we must work with countries around the world in transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel and away from fossil fuels and into energy efficiency and sustainable energy. And that when we do that, we can create a whole lot of good-paying jobs.
A whole lot.
Well,
Another Bernie Sanders.
Donald Trump, like most Republicans, sadly and tragically is choosing to reject science, something no presidential candidate should ever do. He believes that climate change is a hoax. In fact, he wants to expand the use of fossil fuels. That would be a disaster for our country and for the entire planet.
Now, this is, again, we talk about the backstories here. The official position, essentially, of the Obama presidency has been all of the above. Right? In other words, we need an energy policy. In fact, Hillary Clinton started out talking about this, talking this way at the beginning of the campaign. We need a climate policy that has, fossil fuels, nuclear energy, solar, wind, everything, and all of the above policy. And here Bernie is saying, no, we need to specifically dump fossil fuels. And you've got a guy on the other end, Donald Trump, who says we need more fossil fuels. I mean, this is as stark a contrast as you can get. Then we get to comprehensive immigration reform and our broken criminal justice system. Here's Senator Sanders.
This election is about the leadership we need to pass comprehensive immigration reform and repair a broken criminal justice system. It's about making sure that young people in this country are in good schools or at good jobs, not in jail cells.
And then he puts the price tag on this thing. This is amazing.
Secretary Clinton understands that we do not need to have more people in jail than any other country on earth at an expense of $80 billion a year.
So there you go, $80 billion a year. I've seen a lot of numbers that's pretty startling. That's what it's costing us to have more people incarcerated than any other country on earth. And again, we can say this is the consequence of very intentional Republican policies designed for purely political gain. Richard Nixon's war on drugs. I keep pointing this out. Before Nixon declared his war on drugs, more people died from choking on their food or falling down stairs in the United States than died from illegal drugs. Nixon declares his war on drugs, and what happens? Well, you can see what happens. And yesterday, and was it yesterday or the day before, I was I guess it was yesterday, I was talking about addiction and how we know now from rat studies, and by the way, also now from human studies, that when people have a support group, you know, whether it's friends, neighbors, community, AA, whatever, you know, when people have a support group, when people have a sense of safety, when they feel like they'll get caught if they fall, they tend, even if they use drugs, whether it's medicinally, you know, they're using narcotics for pain over a short period of time, or even a long period of time, or whether they're using them recreationally, they tend not to become addicts, or they tend to very easily shrug off addictions. And, you know, we've got this whole war on opiates now going on in the United States, and it's well intentioned. I get it. You know, heroin is a scourge, and OxyContin is for sale everywhere. But it's increased. The good science is suggesting that this is not because these drugs are available. They've always been available. This is because 40 years of Reaganomics has so devastated this country that people have no job. They've got their communities are torn apart. Their friendships are stressed. Their relationships are stressed. You know, economic stresses are some of the worst there are. And the consequence of that is that they're drawn to addiction. I mean, if we want to solve the opiate crisis in this country, don't do it by making it harder for doctors to prescribe pain medication for people who are actually in pain. That's actually the worst thing to do. Instead, make it so that people who are abusing, recreationally using narcotics, stop doing that because they've got something else to do. They've got a job. They've got a community. They've got friends. They've got family. They've got, you know, a support group. Anyhow, that's a kind of a side rant. This is clip number 8. Bernie kind of wrapping this thing up.
It is no secret that Hillary Clinton and I disagree on a number of issues. That is what this campaign has been about. That is what democracy is about. But I am happy to tell you that at the Democratic Platform Committee, which ended Sunday night in Orlando, there was a significant coming together between the two campaigns, and we produced by far the most progressive platform in the history of the Democratic Party.
And then once again, he endorses Hillary Clinton. And the Senate, and a Democratic
Our
House.
job now is to see that platform implemented by a democratically controlled Senate, a democratically controlled House, and a Hillary Clinton presidency. And I intend to be in every corner of this country to make certain that happens.
There you go. Senator Bernie Sanders endorsing Hillary Clinton this morning. A lot of issues on the table, a lot of good stuff. This should be, I mean, this should make Democrats happy and Americans. And it draws such a bright contrast between not just Donald Trump, but the entire corrupt Republican Party.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.